Alright everybody, welcome to yet another episode of Selling Cars at Garage Corp Garage. Today we have something rather special. This particular automobile is called Nissan Skyline Passage GT and it is turbocharged. This automobile is 30 years old because it's 1986. It's going to be 31 at the end of this year, and condition of it is very good. It does still wear original paint, and most of the trim and everything on this car is still original and is in very nice shape. The automobile does not have any dings or dents or in fact heavy scratches on the actual paint. It does have a few imperfections on the trim which we're going to show you, but overall condition of it is very good. The paint is shining actually amazing. Surprisingly, for a 30-year-old car, the paint is very nice, condition is very good. Another thing I kind of dig about this particular automobile is, although it's a four-door, but when you lower the windows, as you can see, it becomes a kind of a coupe, you know. So let's say Mercedes CLS idea of the coupe wasn't the first in the world to do something like this. So yeah, it does not have a center post right here where the doors are, and when you open the doors, you know, you can kind of go in there easily. But let's continue with our walk around, and we're going to show you the condition of the trim. And the trim on it is very good shape. This particular piece is chrome. I do not think it's a stainless. And as you can see, the Skyline badge is still nice and gold. The trim around the window is in very good condition. Very good condition right there. As you can see, it's very nice and shiny. The antenna is in good shape, stainless steel antenna. It does work, by the way, too. The paint is very nice, very good paint. Looks beautiful. I've inspected this automobile. I did not find any paint work on it. Overall, great condition. It only has 47,000 miles. Verified provable mileage, and it really does show. For example, as you'll be able to see on this particular badge, it does show a little bit of wear on it, but you know, that's something like that is normal for the car of this age. I mean, if you're very picky about it, you can fix that by painting it and then taking the paint off. But I mean, this is restorable. But overall, if you would look at the lenses, the way that lenses shine, and the rear reverse lights and the turn signal lights, just the shine on in general is very nice and original. And in fact, we didn't even have to do anything to the lenses to make them that pretty. It's just very well kept car. As you can see on the badge, the turbo badge does not have any wear on it. The Skyline sticker does not have any wear on it, and the Nissan badge does not have any wear on it as well. Overall, the rear of this automobile is very good shape. The bumpers are, I would say they are almost seems that they're painted. So this is some kind of painted texture. I do not think this is rubber, so they're kind of painted over. That's the way that they came from the factory. Yes, this is plastic. And this particular paintwork right here, I just made it dirty. But this particular paintwork does show very tiny little bit of wear on it. But that's something to be expected of the vehicle that is 30 years old and in such a good condition. As you'll be able to see from here, the edge, or if you'll be able to see the lines of this automobile, they're very nice and clean, very solid. Something like this is to be expected. A little scuff, and again, this is a plastic piece. It is not a rubber. Something like this, the brown paint's been scuffed off of it. Something like that to be expected. All right, it does have a little ding. I forgot about it, and it does have a little ding right there on the pillar. So something like this, there is nothing I can do about it unless unless you paint it. It is very possible that the PDR can get to it, and actually we're gonna try and remove that. We'll see what happens, but let me take a look at it. Yeah, it's possible that he can get to it, and we might remove it, we might not remove it, no guarantees there, but expect that small ding to be there. Alright, let's continue with the walk around. The hubcaps are in very good condition, and they kind of match in color with the car. The gold center of it is start peeling out, but that's easily fixed. If you want to fix something like that, just touch it up with gold paint or spray it over and wipe the excess off the top. It does run on Bridgestone tires, and they do have about 90% on them. Very good tires. I like Bridgestone as much as I like Michelin. Very nice. Alright, so right here on this door you'll be able to see a scratch. So there we go. I think, as far as I remember, this is the only scratch you can see, and it is right there. I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but it is right there. So another thing I would like to point out is if you would look at this trim, you would see that it has almost some kind of speckles in it, and if you would inspect this trim, it does not seem to be stainless like the ones on the front bumper and the rear bumper. Those trims are stainless. And for some reason it almost seems to me that it's either supposed to be this way or it just became this way with time, but this piece does not seem to be stainless. I'm touching it with my finger. It's a soft piece. So that piece can be replaced, worst case scenario, or maybe it was intended to be like this from the factory. That I do not know. Alright, so, and the interesting part about it, it's only on the side. Those speckles in there, they're only on the side of the vehicle. And the side would include the doors, which would be the rear door, front door, and the front quarter. The bumper, as we would go to the bumper, the bumper is a stainless solid piece, and obviously stainless does not have anything on it. As you can see, there is another little scuff right here on the side of the car, and the paint got disturbed again, that brown paint, but that again is easily fixed. Overall condition is very good. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and pop the bonnet of this automobile, and we'll show you what awaits underneath. In fact, if you would look at the mirrors are nice and brown, does not have any bugs on it or any damage. It's the same color as the top of the bumpers, and overall in good condition. And I'm going to go ahead and inspect the left side mirror. And the left side mirror is in very good condition, does not have anything on it. It does have like a little nail scratch that can be easily buffed out, but overall is good. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see something there or not, but I'm touching with my hands and I'm just making it dirty. Overall is excellent condition. In fact, this vehicle's been registered in the country of Japan till this year, the month number 5. The registration expired last month, and meaning that it was a running automobile, and to run an automobile in Japan like this costs a lot of money. In fact, to run and maintain a smaller automobile, a new automobile, which would be, let's say, the size of the something very small like a Kia Rio or something very small of a smart car, if you would to run or maintain that automobile in Japan, it costs between 12 to 14 up to $15,000 a year, just in parking and insurance and things like that. And whoever had this automobile was able to pay the premium just to keep it maintained and to keep it on the roads of Japan. We're going to open the hood, and that's what's going to take the rest. There you go. It's an RB20ET, so it's a turbocharged motor, inline 6, as you can see, it's in very, very good shape. Let's try to go ahead and zoom in on a few pieces right here. Let's show this piece. As you can see, the zinc plating is still present on all the bolts and on all the hardware, and on the hardware right there, and on all the other sensors and the hardware, and something like that I admire. And to me, things like that are important, and things like that actually is the main key of showing the condition of the vehicle. Look at this. Even the bolts right here are zinc plated. In fact, I have on several Mercedes that do have less miles on them, and the zinc plating is not such a good shape. Great cars, concourse condition, but overall, just the zinc plating is not such a good condition, not such a good shape. And as you can see, the red paint on the valve cover, on the original silver valve cover, and the red paint on this crossover pipe, and as you can see, it kind of made rib, so to act like an intercooler. This motor does not have an actual intercooler. And one more time, as you can see, the stainless hardware, those clamps are still stainless, and the stainless hardware on the rubber coming out of the turbine into the crossover pipe are still there, and the firewall is in very good condition, very clean. Rubber is still nice and soft. All the hoses are still nice and soft. Wires, just fantastic condition. The way it runs very, very good. Let's show the upper side of the hood. And as you can see, the hood liner on the Nissan is, to be honest, is not the best hood liner in the automotive industry. And this particular piece is still there. It did not fall apart. Very thin, but in original and in mint condition, so no damage was down there. Another thing, let's look at the radiator. Radiator is good, the cap is good. Just overall very clean space underneath the hood. It does have a little bit of speckles of rust coming up right there. As you can see, something like that, very minor, is to be expected, and that's just expected of the car that is 30 years old. And again, we're going to show you this particular piece. Obviously, this vehicle never been wrecked because it's still in original paint. Just a little specks of rust, you know, something like that to be expected. The main downside of this, as I noticed, and we're going to go ahead and show it to you, is right there, and you're going to see it in the picture. If you would look kind of down there, the rail, the unibody rail, is a bit rusty right there. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but you will be able to see that on the picture. It's just a surface rust. Other than that, as far as I inspected it, I have not seen any rust in particular. And don't forget, obviously this vehicle never been exposed to salt or to winter weather or just to any harsh weather, period. It does have very clean undercarriage, but vehicles just tend to, even when they sit, and when they sit not in a climate controlled garage, they tend to do things like that. They tend to show slight surface rust here and there just by sitting on their own. So let's go ahead and move into a trunk area. As you can see, this right here is a CB radio antenna, and this vehicle did come with a CB radio. I did pull it off from inside the car, but it will be available upon request. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and throw it away. I just didn't want to mess with antenna and all this harness right there, but that's up to the new owner. Overall, trunk is very clean. It does show a little bit of wear on the carpet, that something's been moved. As you can see, the fibers of the carpet are slightly pulled, but overall very clean on the side. Spare tires there, toolkit is in there, as you're going to see in the picture, as well as the jack. And just by looking at the jack, it almost seemed that never been used. Alright, so this is going to conclude our walk around, and what we're going to go ahead and perform now is the lighting test. We're going to show you that all the lights on this automobile work. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and perform a test drive, which is going to conclude of two parts. The first part will be drive off, drive by, and a brake check. And the second part, I and operator, we're going to go ahead and take it for a spin. Alright, as you can see, this car performs fairly well. It accelerates decent, it brakes even better. Surprisingly, brakes do work very well on it. Nice and firm. In order to stop, you kind of need to press them, but overall, very responsive. Other than that, condition of this automobile is very good. Aside from little scuffs on the bumper and things like that, overall, very good shape. Four-door Skyline, turbo. By no means this automobile is a sport car. It's meant to be a luxury car with a nick of sportiness in it, and this is exactly what it is. Well, let's say Toyota Crown is meant to be a complete luxury car, or 100%. This one is meant to be a sporty luxury car, and overall, a great automobile, very good condition, and all this car needs is a new proud owner. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and perform a test drive. Let's go ahead and crank this car up. Cranks up fairly instantly, just a couple of turns and then cranks up. One thing I'd like to show, that all the lights work, so we're going to shut it off again and you turn it on, and this is exhaust, heat, temperature, and that, of course, unless we overheat exhaust, there is no way of showing the lights, the reservoir, washer reservoir, coolant, washer reservoir, and the gas warning light, as well as the rear heat. And we turn it on and it comes right back on again, so we're going to turn it all back up, and as you just saw, the exhaust heat temperature came up when we were cranking it up. Air conditioning works well, and it is automatic as well. So right now it is on auto, and if you'd like to make it a little colder, we'll just flip it a couple of degrees to the left, and you'll make it colder. Another interesting thing, this is power steering sport down. It's in town right now, so we're just gonna go ahead and turn it into sport. The volume, there is a button right here. It's kind of sporty oriented feel, so there is one right here, so you don't really take your hands off the steering wheel, and you can control the volume, or you can control it here. But all these features we already discussed, as well as we discussed that there is a little bit of peel on these buttons on the radio on and off. This particular button, which is a tune, and the parking button right here on the right, there is a little bit of peel on it, but other than that, everything is in very good condition. Seats are in very good shape, dash, no cracks, it's not deformed. There's little micro scratches right here on the center console, as well as just a couple of small stains, or I would say few small stains on this silver trim, but that's easily fixable because it is a silver painted trim, and basically all you need to do really is to unscrew, let me think, there are a couple of screws in here. There's one right here, probably one right underneath the ashtray, and just paint it silver back again, becomes brand new. But that's up for the new owner to decide what they're going to do with it. We just decided to leave it in original condition so you can see what you're actually getting. And there is a little burn mark or whatever it was, and somebody glued a little piece of velour in there. That's, as far as I remember, that's the only imperfections would be as long as it, talking about interior, the soft part of the upper doors, the vinyl is pulling out from the rubber, but that's an easy fix as well, just by stretching it in and gluing it back on. I didn't want to mess with it just because I don't want to mess it up. Other than that, everything is in good shape, so let's go ahead and take it for a spin. Let's buckle up. And we're gonna put it in drive. Steering wheel is in sport, and off we go. Suspension and drivetrain of this vehicle feels very nice and solid. By no means this should be or to be considered a sport car. This is a luxury car. It was always intended, this particular model intended to be the luxury car. It's very nice and soft and plush, and it has that Skyline sporty exterior to it, or sportier exterior, let's say, if you compare it to Toyota of the years. Nissan was always a little bit more sporty oriented when it would come to cars. And the build quality of this vehicle is very nice and good. Transmission shift's very decent. It's slightly firmer. It has slightly firmer shifts to my taste, but I think it's explained. I think could be explained because of the slightly sportier background of this automobile. But other than that, it rides very, very good. So we're gonna go ahead and make a right now and turn right. Good thing it doesn't rattle. I don't feel any knock in the front suspension, you know, and something like that is usually expected from an older car, but not here. Also considering the lower mileage of this automobile, you know, it just didn't get to that stage as of yet, so everything is nice and tight. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and make a left turn. Okay, and we're gonna give it some go right now, and we're gonna feel those Skyline horsepower. I'm not gonna really kill it because it's only 160 horsepower, 160 to 180 horsepower as far as I remember. Give it a little bit, and turbo is nicely on the boost, and after a second gear it really starts going smooth. So third gear, 4,000, we already passed 60 long time ago. Right now approaching 80 miles an hour, and I'm gonna kind of let it go. So under braking, doesn't pull, no pulsation in the pedal, no shake in the wheel. And we're gonna go ahead and make a left turn right here, and we're clear to go. So first gear shifted smoothly. Second gear, yeah. Turbo pulling about, I don't know, it's between 0 and 5, and I guess 5 is considered to be bar, so probably about a bar. I don't know, maybe 10 psi, some 12 psi, somewhere right about a bar, right there. And that's 80 miles an hour again in a third gear, and I'm braking right now. No pull, no pulsation, and there we go again. So I would consider this to be a sportier version of a Toyota Crown. So where Crown would be something that an older guy would buy back in the day, this would be something that a younger guy would buy from back in the day, and considering that he wanted a little bit of luxury, you know, I don't really see older people buying into this when it was initially brand new. So yes, they were targeting slightly younger audience, but overall ride's good. So 4,000, 4.5, it shifted into third. 60 miles an hour just passed by. Very smooth, very soft, and again, no pull, no pulsation. Brakes are pretty good. Brakes are pretty good for the year. I mean, considering this car is to be to have an antique plate. I mean, for an antique, this is pretty zoomy and smooth at the same time. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and make a turn. Alright, so this is going to conclude the video. The car is in very good condition. Drives very good. Aside from several small or minor imperfections, there are almost none of them. If you would look at some vehicles that were used in the United States that are 30 years old, quite frankly, they're completely destroyed. If you would compare that to this is absolutely stunning condition. Aside from a couple small imperfections, it's very good. It's fairly loaded, air conditioning works well, and it's a climate control. Radio works well, everything works. Lights work, mirrors work, you know, you can fold them, both of them, left and right, so that's pretty interesting and unique. Other than that, very nice car, good looking car, has that feel of sportness to it, of JDM style sportness. Basically, this is going to conclude the review, and all this car needs is a new proud owner.